Let's see how this is working. Okay, I have sound now. Okay, now you guys should be able to hear me. Everything good? All right. Awesome. I gotta put this right over here. Put that right there so I can see the comments. All right, let's start this again. Tonight we're working on making some cats. We have these little kitties right here. I'm going to be cutting them out and engraving the stripes, and I already got the hole drilled in this guy's tail. We are going to be cutting off his legs, but I promise no animals were harmed in the making of any of this jewelry, to my knowledge. So I have 3 more of those. Now that you guys have sound, I can do this again. I have a customer who wanted a husky. I think she wanted 6 huskies. And here they are. Yeah, I still have to figure out how to do this one. She picked out a good silhouette that I'm pretty sure I can do, so we'll be good with that. And I showed you guys these, but you couldn't hear what I was telling you they were. These are going to be my 2,500 subscriber Dragonfly giveaway. I have a pretty good idea of how I'm going to do it, but I thought these meat fork tines would fill the bill really nice, be nice and unique. And still, I don't want it to be huge, but I want it to be something that you can see and definitely tell it's silverware. And the big box I showed you is this. There's a ton of wiring projects. I had to do some electronic work, some soldering. So we have a whole box of wires and all kinds of stuff here. I have an engraver my brother made for me, and then I just got another one because the guy came out with a new one that uses this little tube. So I have that coming up. Oh, there's my pliers. I've been looking for these. And I was looking for this. What else is in here? Anyways, this is going to allow me to engrave. I'll be able to start doing initials and things like that. I actually drilled this out today, Nate, so it would work. I still got it. There we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. And this is just a quick change attachment. But I'll be able to set stones and do initials, engravings, all kinds of stuff after a lot of practice. Right? I think it's because it's been down here for a while. Things just keep falling off my bench. Like, I just got some packages today. So I got this one today. Somebody cleaned the bathroom, and the bathroom is where I keep my tumbler because it's loud. Stay, right? So I know where you are. And so this was brought into me, I didn't know until just a little bit ago. But this was an experiment I just got through doing. If you've seen my last couple of posts, come on, focus. Focus. There we go. This pattern, these guys came in looking like this. And this is not easy stuff to buff off. Come on, come back to focus. I just had it on the buffer and it still has a bunch of that stuff on it and I can't get it clean, but these were the same pattern. Definitely a big difference in quality. What I did, I have to take more measurements and still do some more testing, but I took my Blue Magic metal polish here and I took one of the spoons. This is the only measurement that I know that I did, was I scooped it up and then I ran it flat across here, so it was 1 teaspoon flat with this stuff, and it came out. I set it for 3 hours because that's the limit my thing goes, and I just toss them in there and forget them. I got stuff to do. So when they came out though, I did a short and these things were all just grubby. My hands were all covered in grease and stuff. So I tossed them back in with a big shot of Dawn dish soap, and when they came out, I had a whole bunch of shiny stuff and some pitch black water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the same measurement and I'm going to put in Dawn at the same time to see, and I'll try that as the same measurement too, to see if the Blue Magic will dissolve the tarnish, and then the grease, the Dawn, should be able to break up and keep suspended in the water. And then whenever we dump that out, we're left with clean silverware. That is the goal. I'll have that done hopefully here in a little bit. I'm probably going to try it with, I have a bunch of knives and stuff I have to take apart. But for now, I'm just going to throw these down into the pit of despair. These are a project for somebody else I'm working on. And these are going to be reindeer and 6 huskies, 3 cats, and some reindeer. So I'll be doing a video on the reindeer too. Enough of that dirty mess. Hopefully in about a week or two I'll be able to clean my shop, get that and that and that and that out of here. I get to start working on my desk. I'm so excited about that. I'm making a jeweler's desk from this old roll top desk. It's not one of the really good ones. It's all particle board, just not real wood. So, alright, where'd my cat go? There he is. I'm going to make this right down here, because most of the time I'm going to be grinding. It's going to be right here. Will this let me bring you over here and turn back this way? So I will be making also at some point another axis on this lever arm thing that I'm using so that I can actually get some rotation here. Because I just need it to tilt down here, but it won't. So you guys can see that. I'm going to get this set right here, shut off the autofocus. Okay, that shouldn't be too bad. Gus did break my blade. Gus was in here looking for some love, and I was trying to work. He wasn't happy with that. The blades I normally use for my cats and dogs are a 3/0. I had to go through and measure out all of my different blades to get the sizes, because a lot of the packs that I got, because I just got cheap blades, didn't have the sizes on them. It just had just a different section. Okay, so what I'm going to be using is that over there. There we go. Yeah, it's been a couple minutes. Hey, Gus! Gus! I'm live! So, for this, I'm going to be using a small... There we go. You need to go that way. This is just a small cone-shaped diamond bit. And I think I've gone through a few of these. I like using this one because I can get these fine lines for the whiskers. Once I get the whiskers done, then I'll do the eyes and the nose, and then I'll cut out the mouth. You're wanted. Hi, Gus. Everybody wants you to say hi. Are you on the microphone? Nope. So are you going to be helping me make some cats? Yeah? Okay. Alright, I called you in here. Now I gotta get to work. Bye! Let's get this back here. Welcome back, Gus. The nice part is, for this part, he can be on my lap. And he is not afraid of this thing at all. I have this set to 5. What do you think, Gus? No? No? Nothing? Nothing? So I'm going to turn down my microphone so you don't have to listen to that. That should be better. He said hi. Everyone's saying hi, Gus. Sandy and Sandy. Alright, I just need the tail. There you go. You can lay down there. Alright. So this I'm going to put right here. There we go. Are you going to break another blade on my saw? Let's put that over there. And grab the kitty cat. And away we go. So I'm going to be making the whiskers right now with the help of Gus Gus's tail. So I'm putting the bit in. This is finesse work, Gus. Yeah, can you guys hear him? Purring into the microphone. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm starting with the tip. I'm bracing everywhere that I can, and then I'm pulling it right off the side. This is the best way that I found to get these deep whiskers. And generally, you can get them in one pass. Yep. Good thing I didn't start before that one. Okay, I'm going to get the other whiskers. So I have seen people stamp these, which would be so much simpler. But for me, I've just always kind of done it this way. So I'm kind of going to do the same thing on my S's, and I shake a lot, and a lot of you watching me know that I shake a lot. So I'm bracing like everywhere. Bye, Gus. And if you can get that in one go, that has been the best results that I normally get for holding the ink. I'm just making a zigzag shape. It's not liking that extra push. Did I hear you say reindeer? I can't wait to see it on. Yes, it is. I have never made them before, but I've seen some made, and I'm probably going to do it live, and it will be within the next couple of days. Because they're actually for an order. I'm trying to find the time to edit. If I can edit my videos faster. Just want that just a little bit more. I've also taken and put collars on the cats before. When I first started out, I was making the collars and then drilling a hole through them, and then I would wire a little rondelle bead in there, a little crystal bead. Okay. I'm just going to take my little guy here, still sharp, and I'm going to come over here to the anvil. There we go. I just try and find a center point. Normally the eyes, if you go below the ears, obviously below the ears, but if you kind of go in line with them, things look more symmetrical. Put this one right there. Am I gonna hit the camera? And then I'm gonna put this one right here. And then we're going to tap the nose. Super hotter on the nose. Just touch more. There we go. Alright, now let's cut his mouth in. Alright, so I'm basically going to follow, because I know where my eyes and nose are. I've got my mouth drawn on pretty good. And if you can, try and get the mouth in one pass. I was a little too light on that last little bit. All right. The next part, I'm going to take my drill, and it is set up. I'm going to make this guy's. No, we don't have enough room. Normally, I'll use a 1/16 inch drill or drill bit, and that's what I'm loading into the press right now. I'm not cutting through. I'm just making his eyes bigger so that it will hold more of the marker. There we go. So his eyes still look good. They're still proportionate. Put the glasses down here. So I think I'm gonna want to make the nose a little bit deeper. So this is permanent marker. I just got a Lowe's pen. They were on sale for like 5 or 6 cents because of this fact that they just leak so much. So that's all filled. Give it a little tap. And my go-to to get this off is tequila. No, I'm just kidding. It's regular rubbing alcohol. It does not have to be the 91%. That's just what happens to be in my shop right now. I like to use the lesser stuff. So I'm using just a cloth. Put some alcohol on it. And I'm just going to put my thumb right into it here. And wipe it off. Take the clean part, wipe them off. So we've got some good black in the eyes, and to me, I can see the definite characteristics from the marker. But this is a good time to get a little bit more depth if we want it. But just remember, going back over any of your marks, you can slip out of your grooves, making another mark. So just be careful of that. And I am going to make his nose just a touch bigger. Kitty's got to have a nose. So when I took and I put the spike on his nose, it slipped out when I looked up and went right into the corner of his mouth. It went right there. So, as things go in the shop, give myself some room here. We're going to put the same mark on the other side. I have like no room between the hammer and the camera. So you guys got to move back a little bit. See if I get my finger out of the way. Let's make them a feature. What did Bob Ross always say? Happy mistakes. Alright, so let's get back to here. I am going to do a couple of these lines over again. Especially this back one. I need some more depth in here. Hey, with my new engraver, I won't have to use that thing. I'll just be able to go bzzz, bzzz. Alright, so I'm going to make this guy's face a little flatter. Actually, I'll show you what it does. I'm using this this is a sanding disc. So let's break out our marker. Make sure we get all of our stripes filled. What I'll be doing with this guy at the end is I'll be just tossing it in the tumbler. I'll leave some of the black on, but I'll let the tumbler get most of it off. But I want to see these dimples. It looks cute. It's got little dimples. I kind of like it. It gives the mouth a little bit of character. Alright, now we're going to cut his legs off. Alright, so for me, what I normally do is I use my board here. Tall cat, if you're using the edge of the board. If you're doing a tall cat or a tall dog or something. But I like to go kind of just see him about proportionate and straight. So this is where I'm going to go. I want this marker. And it looks pretty straight to me, so I'm going to block it off right here. And we'll give it a couple marks, and hopefully the pen is leaving marks. Close enough. Now you can cut these off with the saw. You can use your bandsaw. Just want to make sure that was the last comment. Yep, that was okay. Get rid of that. I am going to use I will turn the autofocus back on for you. I'm going to use my bolt cutters because I don't feel like sawing any more than I have to tonight, and we have to do a lot more sawing on the cats. So this is an Etsy order. It has to go out tomorrow morning. Can you see any of that? So I'm doing 2 of these guys at a time. Because when I tried to do 4, they never come out right. Right there. This here. So I have my cat with his legs. We're going to get those off of there. And like all the animal legs, they go into pairs. These 2 middle tines are smaller than the other 2 tines. So these 2 go in a bag, and these 2 go in a bag, and they will become something else later. For now, I'm just going to put them both into this bag because they're obviously different. And I don't want to get them lost on my bench. So we'll just put them there. So now we have his feet. I'm going to come over here to the belt sander. It's my 1-inch Harbor Freight belt sander. Shed some light on the subject. My MacGyver light here. This is not touching this, it's just back there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to straighten out these feet. These little glasses work really good for the small stuff, but the big stuff, I don't think they protect enough. Back over here. So now we have nice flat feet. We're going to switch this guy here. Oh, I was going to show you what I did with this. So you can see its face, but if you feel it, there's little bumps because of where the metal was pushed up and out. So I'm just going to go over the face like this. Now he's all smooth. And if you want, you can go over the rest of the cat just to make sure everything is nice and soft. Most of it's going to get soft in the tumbler anyways. And now OCD has completely taken over. Alright, yes, it's done. Okay, so we need to get this guy off here. We're going to go to a drum sander, or drum piece. I think this is 120 grit. Oh, that's cool. It's amazing the stuff you find on your bench. This one, this guy on here. Look what I just found. It's a squid heart. I'm going to drill all the way through here, put eyes in there, and it'll be two squids being a heart with a pendant. Then I got some other squids up here just waiting to get turned into stuff. But I forgot all about that guy. Alright, so for this, what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be taking the edges off of these. So edge, 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 flip it over, same thing, and smooth all of this out. This has already all been smoothed out. So this is our final step. Actually, we have to stamp it and date it. So let's do this real quick. No sharp edges. I don't like them. They'll probably get taken care of in the tumbler. But I just like to make sure that they're done. So there's that. Let's get this guy over here. He needs to know where he came from, which is Flatware Creations. And I like to put it back here on the head because sometimes whenever you stamp, it'll leave an indentation in the front here. So we'll put it right here. Sorry about that. Because of the small detail, sometimes it's really hard to get all of the features in the logo. Just lost the lens to my glasses. There we go. We don't want to scratch those. Alright, we got everything. Sweet. And now let's give him a birthday. Well, birth month. We're going to switch this guy out for the smallest ball burr that I have, which is this little tiny guy here. I think there's wool in there. And what month is this? 11. So 11/21. Gotta bring you guys right over here. And I named my other glasses. These things just make stuff so much easier. There we go. 11/21. And 21. So now this cat has got his logo and his birth month. He's got the hole. We'll put a jump ring in that before we put the necklace on. And we've got these nice little dimples now right at the corners of his mouth. I really like that. So I think I'm going to do some more of it. And into the tumbler it goes. Alright, who's the next kitty cat? Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. We're going to do this guy. I know he looks a little weird, but whenever we cut these out, they are just templates, so we can take lots of metal off. Where's my wax? Got my beeswax. Just want to make sure I don't hit you guys with the saw. I always like to start at the ears. Just gives me a nice place to begin. Okay. My screen messed up again. Thank you, Sandy. Thanks for coming and visiting. Okay. Let's shrink that down to there. Okay. So, starting at the ears, and you can kind of feel it whenever your saw starts to not be taking any metal out. Oh, and this is a 3/0 blade. Let's give it a little wax. And where did my brush go? There it is. So you use this little paintbrush. As you're going along, it gets hard to see your line sometimes, so you just kind of brush it off. Lightly making the turn here, and I'm actually at one point bringing the blade back and just letting the edge of the teeth catch forward so it starts it down the path. Once I have that going, then I can go forward with it and not have it pinching my blade. turn. I'm not holding this very hard, just enough to keep it straight and a little bit of pressure going moving forward. Now this ear feels like it's going on forever. But remember, it just takes a second to grind it down. Alright, let's get ready for the turn. We want to keep the turn as sharp as possible. If you can't get it really sharp, we can go back with a file and make it sharper or straighter. So now we're coming down to the cheek. The biggest thing is you kind of want to keep things in proportion, but at the same time you want to make sure that they have some sort of character to them. Everyone is different, but you don't want it too different or so different that it distracts from what it is and what you want people to see it as. Like whenever this is around your neck, somebody should just be, oh, I love your cat. And then the second thing should be, is that a fork? In a little bit more than my line had me going. There we go. Now I'm going to start to turn down. So that's the hard part. So I would normally turn it around, or turn it right here and just keep going around, which I probably will on this one. I had a problem with the other one earlier. I couldn't get quite the good of roundness that I wanted. I went back from the other side. Thanks, Lou. Yeah, I wish I could talk on my TV. I watch a lot of YouTube on TV, but the only thing I can do is give a thumbs up. Yep. I wish they gave you like something that, even if it's just like a couple of words to choose from, like nice or good job. Love it. Here's $1,000. Okay, so we're gonna keep going around with this cat. So we're getting ready to make a turn. Just gonna light pressure, like super light pressure, and most of my pressure is actually coming backwards. So if you feel it binding up, just get it back to where it's normal. There we go. We got it moving. on. It's a brand new blade. There we go. Sometimes you just have to kind of let this up and let it center itself so you can start cutting. Another thing with these forks that I really like, piercing the flatware is super hard as compared to silver. Silver is like just cutting through butter. You actually have to really watch how hard you're pushing whenever you do sterling after you do the silver, or after you do the plated silverware. It's because you'll like you'll saw through your whole piece of silver like super fast. Whereas this, you do have to put more pressure on it. With these forks, like you have these two and then you have the one middle one, I always like to make a hump in the cat, like he's kind of like so once I get from the neck, then I'm just kind of pointed up into here somewhere. So these are the two longest stretches. And most of the blades I use, besides my size 8/0, are all just generics that I've gotten off of eBay or gotten with a kit. So I don't have any super good advice on blades. I do know that blades are one of those things that you get what you pay for, kind of like bows. Some things you can get away with paying less and get working out for you, but the really, really sharp, nice blades that people talk about do cut so much easier. But whenever you're starting out, these cheap blades work great because you're gonna get bound up, you're going to push too hard. My first bag of blades, the blades were separated, but I didn't know what the size was, so I was like trying to cut through silverware with an 8/0 blade, and the 8/0 blades are so tiny. Yes, I did do it, but I think the first time I tried it, broke like 7 blades just right off the bat. And this was after I'd been sawing for a little bit. They're just so thin. I forget what my 8/0 blades were. I do know that I spent more on them than I did on my other packs. But they come in a gross of 144. And I think there's a reason for that. They're going to break. This is a 3/0 blade. I've found that this blade lets me do the little turns that I need to, because I don't have super small turns on this. And it just needs to be kind of close. But at the same time, if it was a 1 or 2 or 3, then it could be too wide or deep, too deep to make that turn, because you have so much more blade there to turn Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. If this was in sterling, I would have been on to the next one easily. So making our turn. And it depends on where you're cutting on the silverware. Like I have a project I'm doing right now that the only place I have to saw is the end of the spoon bowl. So I don't have a spoon. The end of the spoon here is so much thinner than the back of the spoon. Same thing with the forks. But for this project, I just have to cut the front of this, and it's super fast. It's really quickly, and it's still not as fast as cutting through sterling, but that's nice. I mean, whereas this thing is, we're in a thin spot right now, going into the thickest spot, coming for the tail. So I have never tried the figurines like that. I've wanted to. I think I made one for a boat, a guy fishing one time, but I haven't made any of those. A lot of them are done in stainless, and they just get like welded in place. I was going to use some rivets, because rivets would still allow the arms to move and be fun like that. Make sure that you get the salt and pepper shakers that you want to use with it, so you can make sure that everything is tight and snug. I know I have 3 different sets of salt and pepper shakers, and they're all square or rectangle, but they're all a little bit different. So that was just one of the things that I thought of whenever I was thinking about doing that. And with the rivets, you don't have to solder anything. And I pushed too hard and broke a blade. So, get rid of this one. One of the tricks I do, anytime I'm using a blade, I always leave out my little tube or whatever you're keeping the blades in. I keep this out so I know what I'm using. So if I just barely use the blade, and it might get some rough comments, but I do reuse the blades if they're still sharp. I'm not gonna throw them away just because I don't need them for this little piece of the project. I know that they're not going to be as sharp, but as soon as you start cutting, you're going to know if it was used or not. So the type of solder I use, I actually just had to buy 2 more. I'm going to put those here. Solder, solder, solder. They're not in my pocket. I use rosin core solder. They're still in the freezer. Down in the description, so you're messaging me, so you're probably on your phone or your tablet or computer. Down in the description is a link to all of the things that I use, or the things I found on Amazon. So I'm just running this back through here now. That's comparable, or what I would buy from there. They are affiliate links, so I get like 1/10 of a cent. Alright, so we got back this guy. The other thing you could do too, instead of having to string all the way through that, is just start at this end of the tail and work down to that point. The benefit to going this way is you have one line. You don't have a spot there that you have to blend together. Yeah, every project I try and make sure that I have a link down in the description for what I'm using, or the equivalent. And some of the stuff you can get cheaper on eBay. I just put everything down there through Amazon because it was easier. So the only thing about the solder for copper pipes is a lot of times it has lead in it, which is the big thing that you want to stay away from. You want lead free. I have solder that I've used on pipes that are lead free, but the rosin core solder will come with either some percentage lead or lead free. Always get the lead free. It's just a lot safer for the jeweler, or for who's wearing the jeweler, and for you making the jewelry. And you see my block here, or my post? I work my way from out here towards the back, because as I get closer to the back, everything is getting tighter together, and I want my blade to come out back here. If it comes, I've cut my finger too many times to have to keep worrying about it, so I always start working my way back. Anytime, I'm glad to be able to help. Can't see my line. So I was trying to figure out, when I first started making cats, how I could make a cat. I don't think I was soldering at that time. Well, I started soldering when I started doing dogs. But for the cats, I didn't have a way of really hanging them from chain. Now there's a whole bunch of different ways that I know how to do it. You can take and cut the tail long and then make a little loop in the tail, and then you run the necklace through that loop, which is really cool looking. Normally my forks end up getting cut off at this point when I'm using them for bracelets or other projects. So to be able to use as much as I can of the scrap end, basically, I just started going up and making the tail up here. And I just kind of flatten the end out, and we'll drill a hole in it. So my line goes way over here, but I think I'm going to take kind of this middle of the road. For the Huskies, I have to make a big, thick tail, and I think what I'm going to do is their tail is one of their biggest features. Like, you know a Husky whenever you see the body shape and the tail. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the tail curl around, and then I'm going to put a lot of etching into the tail so you can kind of see the direction that the fur goes. And I'm hoping that will give the tail justice and make the dog instantly recognizable as a Husky. So what have you guys thought of the little shorts I've been making? I haven't asked that question yet. So now that I'm most of the way through here, I'm able to put a lot more pressure back here behind, so I can keep this fork from moving, because there is still a little bend here. And like I said, I'm working back towards that deep V. Yeah, I was like, well, my first two, you can kind of see that I had some issues with my microphone, and I thought it was the phone, but it ended up being the microphone was clogged up because I never cleaned it, because I didn't really think of it as a microphone. But after that, I'm trying to do the experiment projects with it. It's a nice little 30-second to a minute, hi, how you guys doing kind of thing. And I'm probably going to try doing some more things like that. Keep people interested. All the subscribers. Flatware Creations did something today. I do something every day. You guys, I think, would just get bored with doing the same thing over and over again. Like the other night, I had an order for 100 rings. And I was like, okay, no problem, I can do that. I have a tray that has about 60 rings in it, so I just need to make about 40 rings, no problem. So I get home, and I think it's like 8 or 9 o'clock, and I come in the shop, and I look at the order, and it's 100 spiral rings. And and all the rings that I have are the overlapping regular rings. So now I have to quickly make, oh, and I told them that I would have them in the mail in the morning. So I kind of put myself in a rough spot. But I got out 115 forks and spoons. Getting towards the end, I gotta pay attention now so I don't break my blade. And basically I did 115 or 16 spiral rings. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock, so 4 hours? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Yeah, 4 hours. 116 rings. Spiral. And once I had tossed them in the tumbler, I put in my Dawn, and I said, alright, I put it on 3 hours, and I went to bed, got up in the morning, everything was great, got them all dried off, took the towel to it in the hair dryer, got everything packaged up, and away they went. The fastest I've been able to make rings ever. So that was a little panic driven. So here's our kitty now. All I can say is OCD. I have 2 lives on here. I had to do part 1 and part 2. If you look at the live section, you'll see I made 77 rings live. I think it was 3 hours total between both the lives. It's really having the tools and just OCD, get everything processed, and just everything moves. 100 pieces moves from this place to this place, and then once that part is done, I work them all the way back over to this place through this step and then that step until finally everything's done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually zoom you guys in so you can see this. Turn the autofocus back on. We're going to zoom in. Get this to focus and then shut the autofocus off. Come on, you know you want to focus. So you can see all of the tooth marks from the saw. And that goes all the way around. Everywhere we cut is those little tooth marks. So what we're doing now is I'm taking my diamond bits, and I'll zoom you guys back out here. Taking the diamond bits, and I'm going to go through and basically get all of those grooves out of there. So I'm using just a small diamond bit. Normally I'll test it up against the throat, right where the V is. So I have just a tiny bit of room there, so I'm going to use this guy. If it was smaller, I'd go down to a smaller one, but I kind of like this size. It's just barely any light coming through there. and that will allow me to get most of these places. So we'll start on that. Be careful going down the front, because you scratch, it is a scratch that's super hard to get off. I'm not really putting pressure here. I'm putting just enough to take down those lines. I don't want to shape anything, I just want it to be shiny. And I start from just one side, and then I just keep going until the whole piece is nice and shiny. And I'm using the light that's reflecting behind me to be able to see the difference. I think I have a light on here too that would work. Yeah, that works better. I don't know if I have this magnifying glass set on there. I'll have to check. This thing coming from my visor was just so amazing. Here's another trick for you. Say you have a line right here that is deeper than the stuff around it. So it comes here, and then you get a drop, and then this side here comes up and drops down into that same hole. If you take your bit, every time you go across it, you're going to fall down in that hole, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're just going to keep fighting with it. But if you take your Dremel bit, and instead of going side to side like this, turn your bit like this at an angle. Let's see if I can get that for you. So instead of going like this, turn it at an angle like this, enough to where you can blend in and catch over the top of that. So you're just taking down this high and this high to match what's underneath, and then once you have that, then you can go back and get all this smooth again. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Like I said, I'm just going really, really lightly. I'm just trying to make it shiny right now. Sometimes you have to put a little bit more pressure to get those saw marks out of there. But again, you're still looking for just shiny. Also, a big key to making all those rings is my headphones. I just kind of put on some music and just go to town. So like right here I have a deep divot there, a deep divot there. I'm going to turn this, and those are just going to come right out. Not sure if you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see that. So you see the two spots that are fuzzy? Those are the spots I'm trying to work out. touch more on that one. There we go. And they're gone. So I've got all this guy nice and shiny. The next step, I'm going to take my hammer and I'm going to hammer down this tip of the tail because we're going to put the hole right here. So before we're done with all the grinding and everything, that is so true, Lou. When I go into getting stuff just done, I actually listen to like dubstep or electronic music because it's like a flood of sound, and the beat is like 200 plus BPM. Alright, you can't find my other hammer, so I'm just going to go with this guy. I'm just smashing the tail right now. So I'm just making it flat enough to get my bit to go in there. Okay. And by doing that, we've made hard edges again. So we're going to come back here, take out those edges. Yes, if you, so this tail isn't long enough. I mean, it is long enough, but once I turned it, it would end up coming down here. So your cat would be hanging super close, and it would look like it almost didn't have a tail. But if I wanted to make this to where the tail was the bail, I would make the tail about this long. You can't see that. I'd make the tail about that long, so where my thumb is. And I would cut it just a little bit thinner so I could curl it around and then twist it. So you want it to be able to, yeah, you should be able to just twist it back onto itself because it's sitting flat. So yeah, cut it a little bit longer so you have more room, so you end up with the chain coming right here in this area instead of way down here. You'd have to definitely use a tool, a pair of pliers. I would probably, I have these graduated pliers. My other ones are floating around here somewhere. Just my regular round nose pliers, but I would just curl it right around, just make a nice little curl. And then again, take out any edges or marks that it makes. Okay, so now on for the big stuff. I'm going to take my where is it? That's my spot. I'm going to take my drum sander here again. So now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of clean this up a little bit. I'm going to take the sharpness off of my ears. And if I can get it in there, I'm going to take the sharpness off the cheek. So I've got this end cleaned up. I've got my ears laid down. If I was doing a bunch of these, I would be wearing my mask right now. I have this really cool mask. It doesn't fog up my glasses or anything. But all that little dust in particular, you don't want to be breathing all of that. I hold my breath for most of it when I'm doing the videos like this. Okay, now we're going to go down to a smaller bit here, and we're going to take off the sharp edges that are on these sides. So this is definitely sharp on these sides. This is also probably the most critical part, where if you're going to mess something up, it's going to be right here, because we're just taking off the edges. So I'll show you an easy way to tell what those look like. So where those black lines are, right there, can't quite see them there, but you got one there, up there. These are all places that the grease is hiding behind, or being able to be caught by. So we're going to take all of that off and make it nice and smooth. I haven't tried it in the tumbler, just tossing it in and see what it does, but this is just the way I've always made them. I might try doing that in the future, see if I can give myself a little less work. But some of these corner pieces, I don't know if they would get smoothed out as good as I want them. So this is my front. I want to be very careful working on this side. And we're just taking off the edge. It's just a little tiny burr. This part is definitely worth taking more time. Another trick I do is I try and use the middle of the bit instead of the end of the bit. So if it does get too close to that edge, I have a little bit more give, or a little bit more forgiveness. There we go, it's all smooth. Flip it over. It's kind of like working on a knife. Whenever you're sharpening one side, the blade folds over, and then he folds over the other way. We're basically using this as a steel to take that extra little metal away. I'm not shaking too bad tonight. This is kind of nice. Makes the work easier. Just doing a little reshaping there. Put the sear back to semi-pointed. Feel a sharp spot on the front. Alright, nothing sharp. And you know what, since we're here, we're going to put the date on this guy. It's 11/21. Is that a scratch? It is a scratch. Alright, we're going to use that. It is now becoming our 1. No more scratch. Yes. It's the little details. So I can make one of these every half hour. And if I did a bunch of them at the same time, within a few hours I could have 6 or 8 of them done just doing each step over and over. So I'd cut it out, put it down, get the next one, cut it out, and then the next time I'd get all the cleaning done. I'd get all the, basically I do the same step over and over for every cat, and it goes a lot faster. But to do one cat from beginning to end and just music is about 29 to 33 minutes or so. More OCD. Alright, let's get a face put on this guy. Oh, we forgot to drill the hole. So we made this bigger. You guys want over here. Where'd my hammer go? You want it right in the middle, and you want it pointed towards the middle and down. If it's pointed towards one side or the other, the drill's going to want to go that direction. So I think I put the 16th back in there. I did. This part always scares me because as I'm looking at it through the from my angle at the drill press, it's looking like it's taking out all of one side. But then you get it and it's okay. And it looks like there's a piece out of it, or like it's right off the edge. But once I take the flashing off, it's thin, but there's quite a bit of metal there. Run this guy through there. Oh, that's the wrong one. This one. Nope, that's the wrong one. Just take out any kind of little burrs that are in there. Alright, so let's get our face painted on here. So we go with this cheek. This cheek. Come on, pen. I go through a lot of these pens. Sometimes it's just a matter of just gotta use them on a piece of paper first. Go with our eyes in here. Little nose. We'll give him a little mouth. We're gonna give him dimples like the last one. I've made lots of cats without stripes, but the ones that people like the most are the ones that have the stripes. And I've started going way off the tail now. I used to just go like 3, but I like putting a little bit more into it. Let's see. That one, that one, that one. Okay. This Sharpie fine tip permanent marker is one of the only markers that I've found that will actually stay on if you're touching it. So it will eventually smear, but if I did this with a regular marker or a regular pen, it would just smudge all over the place. So going back to my little triangle guy here. And let's give him some whiskers. And you can see I'm starting with the point, and then I'm laying it down to make that groove. So I got a little bit of scratch down there. I'm going to make the mouth right now. I can't get a good enough stabilized point. Let's get some stripes. And they're your stripes, so you can make them however you want them to look. Happy little stripes. I do have my hanging Dremel, or my hanging rotary tool, China knockoff thingy. That has a lot more power than this thing, and sometimes I'll use it, but this is just so much easier to manipulate that I use this a lot more. And remember, the deeper the grooves, the more the ink will stay in. Can you guys even still see? Yeah. Alright, bye Lou. Thanks for hanging around and continuing to watch. Alright, so let's put some eyes on this guy. So I'm going to give him dimples first. Little nose. There's an eye right about there. So their eye goes right there. Let's go over to the drill. His face looks a little weird. Alright, let's see what the damage is. Kinda looks scary. Alright. Get all our stripes here. Oop. That could have been bad. I grabbed my that bag of, or not bag, that towel of silverware. Just dump it all over the place. Get some alcohol here. I think it's almost Bloody Mary 30. His eyes look a little weird to me. Not his eyes, but his mouth. It still looks cute. I think I am gonna kind of grind down a little bit more of the mouth. Just at one side to try and get a little bit more not so craziness. And this is where things normally go wrong. You see that? Okay. Now it probably just looks like he just ate a bird. The final test, we'll take this guy here. Doesn't look too bad. I think the part that gets me is, let's zoom on, or focus on here again. I think the biggest thing for me is it doesn't look like his mouth touches that second dimple. It does, or maybe I just made the dimples too big, so the mouth is out of proportion. Oh, you know what? I can try and let's get this back to here. Oops, missed it. I'm going to take and start in the dimple and bring it down into the mouth. Theoretically, that should bind the two. So just like we do the whiskers, I'm actually just going to start in here and kind of lay it down. Alright, I think that may have done it. It may have done it. I like that. I'm happy with that. He looks happy. It looks better. Alright, now let's cut off his legs. I like him, he's so cute. Cut off his legs. Alright. So this guy's gonna be a little bit shorter. Let's make him that big. So if you have a little bandsaw, works great for this. You still have to take the edges and everything. Let's get you back here. I'll turn autofocus back on. Let's see if we want to go this way. Let go. Wrong way. So as always, we want to keep the piece we want on our side. See if I can get 3 here. So what happens is one gets this way. This first one is really deep, and then the second one not so much, and the third one even less. And now we will take your guy apart. These legs are all similar. Ouch. I like using my flat nose pliers to take these apart because it's just easier. If you did have to use a pair of these, in here there is a spot that's not I didn't get that real close. There's no mark on it. There is a flat spot in here in most pliers that don't have the teeth marks. So if you go in there and you turn it, let's try this other one that's closer. You can get that bend, but for these guys, I like to be right here next to that bend. Comes right off. Even if it's a shallow bend or a shallow cut, you still get a good bend. And these 4 are all the same size, so they will get bagged up in this bag that's even bigger than the last bag. I will get organized one day, and then I will give you all the shop tour, and then things will be great, and I'll be able to like focus and create and not feel like I'm in a gotta go over here. It's crazy. Alright, let's come over here. There we go. Turn the light back on. I gotta replace this blade, or this belt, I would probably say right now, well, it started as an 80 grit. It's probably about 120 grit right now. Do I still have a light on? Good thing it's rechargeable. So it takes a little bit longer, but as long as your seam the seam right here, that's the part that's going to break on you. Come on. There we go. So this seam right here is the part that's going to go on you. And as long as you can see that that's all level and flush, you should still be safe to use it. But once one of these ends starts coming up, it's just going to shred on you. So just watch out for that. This one's been really good. I've been able to use the full width of the sanding paper. So just another thing. Let me get the zoom off before I forget. Actually, you know what? I'll keep you right here, and I'll kind of show you how I'm doing the feet. I lost my other glasses. There they are. Alright. Think. Okay, zoom out. Out. Alright, bring you guys back down here. So, also remember, whenever you're grinding like that, these things get hot. So the harder you push, the hotter they're going to get. So we've got a nice clean feet here. I'm going to put on our drum. I like having this thing in here. It gives me a higher workplace, and it also gives me a spot to focus for you guys. So I know that my hands and my work needs to be in this area for you to be able to see what I'm doing. Focus. Okay, there we go. What's it doing? Oh, feet. Alright, let's get our sander back in here. And I'm basically taking off the sharp edge. So I've got all the edges, all the corners off. Now I'm going to take and go down the side. It's just kind of rounding off this hard edge. Alright, he is done minus the stamp. This is one of the best little investments I ever made, was getting this little tiny stamp. I think if I had to do it again though, I would get it in 3mm. Come on, focus. So it has my logo. I found my business card. It has my logo, so it's this FCSS with the fork tine, or with the fork. So that's what this logo is. I got the stamp on eBay. I tried a bunch of other stamp places, and nobody could get the detail of the fork tines. They said that they couldn't get that. I got it on eBay. I think I spent about $100. But this was also made. I got the one that was made for rings, so it will go inside of a ring and make the stamp, which is cool. I think I'd also like one that was straight, because it's a little difficult sometimes with this. And to get the detail of everything, if you watched earlier, you see me tapping it and kind of rolling it. I guess I've kind of taken the edges off of it a little bit. Hi, buddy. I will see if I can find a link to it. Okay, we'll come back down here. Say hi, Gus. Gus. Gus, look. Oh, you said hi. Okay. You're awful chatty. And again, oh, I got you guys on Zoom and autofocus. That's gotta be crazy. There we go. Alright. Let's get this stamped on there. And I'm using this brown board paneling stuff so that I can I don't leave marks on the front. Okay, Gus. Now you're in the way. Come on, come down. Thank you. Gotta watch that tail. And how's it look? The top of my F is not there. This is always the scary part. And no double stamp. Woo! I would call that a success. We've got our cat. He's got all of his stuff. He's got his birth month and his stamp. He is good to go. I think I really need to make a Bloody Mary. Sandy says hi again, Gus. He's such a big softie. Oh. So I'm gonna hop off. Let's see, I have 2 more left to do tonight, but I think I'm going to work on the dragonfly a little bit. I have to record that one so that I can edit that one and have it all nice and neat and finished. These run super long, the lives do, but it takes a long time to do what we do. And I try and work the best I can with talking, but hey. That's all I can say about that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll see whenever we go live or whenever we put out new videos. It also tells you when we make comments in our the section where we can put my brain just went completely gone. Community section where I run polls and ask questions and things, so you'll get notified of those. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys later. Do you want to say bye, Gus? Do you want to say bye? You gonna say bye? Alright, cat's on the internet. Oh, he's taking out the phone. There he goes. I definitely will enjoy the Bloody Mary. Alright.